All right, welcome everyone. This is going to be the first in a series of videos that I'm going to be putting together to kind of detail what my journey has been thus far in my relatively young trading career. I've been able to put together a path that has taken me to, I should say, being relatively new to the game to actually being able to achieve funding with my Forex funds in less than 24 months, 16 months to be exact. And so I just thought that it might help some people who are out there, help some of you who are out there kind of looking for some pointers as to where to start. Trading is a situation where it's like having a bucket full of 100 keys and to unlock one door. And you know the right key is in there, you just don't know where it is. And when you have 100 keys to open a door, you can probably go through those 100 keys in less than 5 minutes to find the right one. Whereas with trading, you can find 100 different resources on YouTube, and it may take you 2 to 3 months to really thoroughly check each key to see if it works on the lock. And so by the time you check all 100 keys with trading, you may be 5, 6, 7 years into it, if not longer. And that right key that unlocks the door is still sitting at the bottom of the bucket. So what I'm trying to do is kind of share my experience. It may not resonate with everyone. Everyone has their own personality, their own instincts, their own way that they see themselves trading the markets. But just real briefly, and that you'll find that when I say briefly over these next series of videos, that I don't mean that because I'm pretty long-winded. Sometimes I can ramble to some degree, so just bear with me. I'm not a professional videographer. I'm not a professional editor, as you can tell from any of my videos. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this to try to gain some type of following. I'm not trying to make any affiliate money off of any links or anything like that. And that's not really what I'm trying to do here. I just do believe that that part of my job is to take the things that I've learned and to try to help others in learning what they're trying to learn. And I do think that in this world that we need more of that. And so that's really my only motivation, is just to try to help others. Explaining some of this stuff also kind of helps clarify some things in my mind. Kind of like talking it out, even some of this old stuff that I'm going through. I've kind of enjoyed going back through and digging through some of these old resources. So this may be 7 or 8 parts, because in this first part, I'm going to talk about my first YouTube resources, the things that I found in the first 3 months of my trading. Really most of these I found within the first 30 days of starting to really dig into trading on YouTube. I will also, several other parts, I'll just briefly go over those. There will be a part that explains how I set up my first trading account, the kind of parameters, the risk management I use, the strategy that I was using to try to track my performance. I will do a review of the trading communities that I was a part of. We'll talk about a few of those here in this list. I'll review some of those. I will review the different instruments I've traded, from Forex to commodities to indices, and given the pros and cons of each one in relation to how they are treated at the prop firm level, the pros and cons of that. I will give a rundown of my prop firm challenges that I failed, and the different prop firm companies that I did challenges with, and the differences between the different challenges the different risk parameters, the different trading conditions, right? A lot of that stuff is different from company to company. And then I will kind of wrap it up with my current strategy, where I am, and then so I'm thinking that this may be 7 or 8 parts. As I said, I am kind of long-winded, and I don't want these to be super long, so I'll try to cut it off before it gets monotonous, because I will repeat myself several times as I'm going through all this. So just real briefly, my original journey started back in the summer of 2021, and I was doing some research. I'll give you just a little bit about myself. I am in my late 40s. I live here in the States. I'm a restaurateur. I have some dealings in real estate, so I'm a little bit older, a little bit further down the career path. I am married. I've got 2 children. I've got a 19-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and so a lot of this I'm going to go through is I'm going to explain it and go through it as if I was going through it with my son, so he could kind of see what I've done. And if he's ever interested, I could just show him this video and maybe he could get something out of it. So, all right. So anyway, so with that being said, with my stage in life, I was actually doing some digging on YouTube about starting a dividend portfolio for myself. Looking, and I found this YouTube channel called Dividend Data, which is a great channel, very entertaining. The guy does a great job doing research, and it was really interesting. And so I was going through that channel, and then of course YouTube throws all kinds of suggested, and keep in mind, had zero knowledge of trading, of Forex, of day trading. I have a degree in finance, but that trading was never a part of my education. Like day trading, obviously investing is one thing, but day trading totally different. So anyway, I was here on the Dividend Data YouTube channel, and then YouTube put this in front of me. This is the first website trading YouTube channel, I should say, that I encountered, and it was around the time of the Bitcoin top, one of the first Bitcoin tops, and Heath here on Trade Talk had a video about possible Wyckoff distribution schematic occurring in Bitcoin, and so I spent several days going down the Trade Talk rabbit hole. He has a lot of videos on his channel. He does live streaming. I don't use his trading strategy, but it's support resistance with a handful of indicators, just for confluence, not really indicator heavy, but more support and resistance. But small community, not a huge channel, but he was very helpful for me. And so all these following, 11 are going to be channels that just YouTube threw up in my feed for me. And the next one, let's see. The next one is a small channel called Uncomplication, and it was also this is a Bitcoin channel. And again, this was I think because I clicked on this Wyckoff Bitcoin distribution, YouTube put this up in front of me. But this guy he's a little bit more esoteric. I mean, he's real brainy. He does a bunch of other stuff on his channel besides just Bitcoin, but it's a lot of Bitcoin on there, and so I don't even know his name, but it was an interesting video to watch. All right, some of you may have heard of this next one that I found, Jason Graystone. Again, I don't trade his strategies. He's more of a pattern trader, chart patterns with some indicators, but he had a lot of trading discipline, trading psychology. He did a lot of interviews with some really interesting traders that I was able to really get a lot out of. I just think it was a great experience for me watching his videos, and I learned a lot, even though I don't necessarily trade this way. Next is going to be the incredibly popular. I'm sure most of you are probably already familiar and have her on your subscribe list, but Hannah Forex. Hannah really was the first person that I saw on YouTube that made me realize that that trading was like legitimate, like it was real. It wasn't just people on YouTube trying to get subscribers, because any of you that have followed Hannah's progress have seen that she's obviously a real person, right? She's not on YouTube trying to create an audience or sell products or do affiliate marketing. Like, she was just a real trader kind of walking through her journey. And so, we're totally different generations, different parts of the world. I mean, very opposite types of people, but it really kind of brought it down to earth for me, and made me realize that, okay, this is something that that regular people can do, so to speak. So that was good. I really went down that rabbit hole. I watched a lot of her videos. I really like her. She seems like a very genuine person, so I enjoyed that channel a lot. All right, so and that was, sorry, I got interrupted there. I don't know if you even knew that it paused. So that was a big one for me. All right, and then next was a big one, FTMO. I was going down obviously Hannah talked a lot about FTMO and prop firms in her earlier video, in all of her videos, but when I was watching her earlier videos, and I found FTMO, and it blew my mind. I had no clue that it was possible to be a remote portfolio manager. I never had even encountered, experienced, imagined it. So, I mean, I watched all their interviews, looked at all their rules, all the ins and outs of everything they did, and played a huge part in the way that I decided to trade in those first few months. Just their risk parameters that they use, their rules, the strict discipline they required, really just struck a nerve with me. I really liked it. So I spent a lot of time there. Next, inner circle trader. This everybody, the guy everybody loves to hate. This was a huge channel for me, because while Trade Talk and Jason Graystone talked a lot about strategy, it just wasn't what I had. And I didn't put Mark Douglas on here, and I probably should have, because one of the first videos I found after Trade Talk was that Mark Douglas 4-part series, where he talks about the open, high, low, close kind of strategy somewhere in that 4-part series. If you know the open, the high, the low, and the close of the previous day, that's really all you need, and then you can work with that. And so the inner circle trader, if any of you that have watched a lot of his early stuff, he was very focused on previous days high, previous days low, previous days open. And so went down that rabbit hole as much as I could. Obviously, it's really long, and some of it can get kind of boring. But I can go really long, and I can get really boring. So it didn't really make a big deal to me. At the time, I had a 3-month hiatus, and I didn't mention this, but I had a 3-month change in work schedule where all of a sudden I was working nights, and so I had like all day at home to do this stuff while the kids were at school. Next, No Nonsense Forex. Great channel. Love the guy VP that does the channel. It's very entertaining, very informative, educational. I don't use any of his trading strategies whatsoever. No indicators. I don't use any indicators. But still a great channel. If you've never really gone down this avenue, check it out. And see what you might find that may be interesting. Next, Vertex. Vertex was a really pivotal channel for me. Vertex was actually the first course that I did. Tans is one of the mentors in that group, and I just watched a couple of his videos, and I just had a sense that he was just genuine. Now, it was just a feeling that I got. Their mentorship was a little bit more expensive than one of the other ones that we're going to talk about, but I just got a really good vibe from him, from some of the interviews I watched him do on some other channels. He gave credit to a lot of different people that kind of helped him. So this was a big YouTube channel for me, and it's not a ton of videos on there, but the mentorship and the course that I took through them, I highly recommend that to anybody who can afford a month or two of a course. All right, next, MentFx. All right, there's no one quite like Anton. He very entertaining, very spicy. I mean, he's got a great personality, a ton of content, a lot of videos. I did his course and his mentorship as well. It's a good course. It's a good mentorship. I would suggest Vertex for newer traders over Mint. I love Mint's psychology, his approach to trading discipline, his approach to taking losses, position sizing, things like that. I mean, the strategies are very similar. I mean, it's smart money, supply and demand, confirmation entry, structure, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's not that different. Just some people are better teachers than others. And so that's one thing, but I love the channel. And again, these are all channels that I was looking at here in the first, I would say this is within the first month that I discovered trading. So from the day I found Trade Talk to Vertex, I think was 33 days. And I found Mint right after that. And then the next one, I don't even remember which all these were. Okay. This, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. Iliya Sivkov. Anyway, he's got a YouTube channel. He does a breakdown every week, supply and demand breakdown of all the major pairs, a bunch of cross pairs, the indices, gold. Learned a lot from him just watching him break down his charts, not just single chart, but he does like 20 charts twice a week. And so just the repetitions of being able to watch him mark up his zones, talk about his, what kind of confirmation he looks for. He likes to get his 4 hour going in one direction, and he waits for the pullback and get the 15-minute in the same direction as the 4 hour. And I mean, there's obviously some strategy there that he has in common with Mint and Vertex. That was really interesting for me. So that was a good one. This must be Phantom. Yes, Phantom. Phantom's YouTube channel is like okay, but it did lead me into their course and their mentorship, which I really liked. I think that Vertex doesn't do they do multi-time frame analysis. Had to pause again there to let my dog in. Lay down. All right, so Phantom. Phantom is they go much further down the multi-time frame analysis. Would you lay down? But sorry, a great course, great mentorship, great community. I learned a lot from them, and I recommend a lot of time there. And then finally, Tim Sykes. Tim Sykes is like a penny stock guy. Not at all what I'm interested in trading. I have no interest in trading individual stocks or options, things of that nature. But one thing that I did learn from Tim Sykes, and it actually took me several months. It took me, kind of falling on my face to really start hearing him when he says, cut your losers quick. And if all you do is watch Tim Sykes for a month and all you come away with is that one phrase and it just sticks in your head, cut your losers quick. Cut your losers quick. Okay. When you're a new trader, it hurts so bad to cut your losers quick because inevitably there's going to be trades that you cut quick that turn and go in your direction, and it's just going to hurt your feelings so bad. But that's okay. You're going to realize if you stick with it long enough that that's the way it's supposed to happen. Okay, you cut your losers quick. You cut the ones that turn on you to a certain degree. Obviously, you have your, whatever your risk parameters are. But once they reach that point, you cut it. And all you're looking for is the ones that take off. And there's enough of the ones out there that take off, obviously within your strategy, that you don't have to worry about cutting your losers quick. Now, you just have to experience enough of those that just fly immediately. And it takes a bunch of those to happen before you realize that, okay, these they're going to happen. These trades that I get in, it immediately goes in my direction, right? With very little pullback, right? These happen frequently if I'm patient and if I'm disciplined. And it's okay that 3 or 4 of these that I cut quick end up going in my direction because I haven't taken many big losses. And then that one that doesn't go against me, just goes straight for me, that's going to make up for all those little small losses. But until you experience that, it's hard to believe it. Okay, but Tim Sykes preaches that, cut your losers quick. So this is going to be the kind of the end of my first part. If you have any, I have put the links to all of these YouTube channels down in the description, the video description, so that you can visit these channels, take a look at them, subscribe to them. I mean, I support these channels. I may not be subscribed to No Nonsense Forex anymore, just because I don't really use that. I don't use that strategy, but the rest of them I am. I'm still follow them. I still like to watch them. So I would encourage you to go check these out. The next part of this new trader series will focus on where and how I opened up my first live account, the strategy, the way I back tested, the way I logged my trades, the pairs that I was looking at, how I determined all that. Take a look at the journal that I used to do that with, and kind of what my results were there with that first live account in the first iteration of my journey, which was about a 3-month time span. So that'll be part 2, and then we'll go from there. I hope you got some value out of this. I hope you find it helpful. One final thing, I didn't mention baby pips in here because it's not on YouTube. But baby pips was right here in this area. I mean, one of the first things I did was hop on there and start knocking those out. I'll also include a section, one of the parts about baby pips. Maybe it won't be the next one, or maybe it will be. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and drop a comment if you have any questions, and if you think that this is going to be a worthwhile type of video series, if you wouldn't mind just liking this video, I would really appreciate that. It helps me know that it's actually maybe valuable to some people and that it's helpful, and it makes me know if this is something that I need to keep doing or not. So, all right, take care. God bless.